Dear Abu Eid, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective. US President Donald Trump has said a deal has been reached on what he called a certain company that young people wanted to save, widely seen as a reference to TikTok. Posting on Truth Social, Trump said a trade meeting between the US, China and the EU went very well and confirmed that he will speak with the Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent later clarified that Washington and Beijing have struck a framework deal allowing TikTok to shift to US-controlled ownership. Without it, the app will face shutdown in America as early as September 17th. Officials say the deadline could be briefly extended to finalize details, while broader negotiations on tariffs and technology rules are set to continue, with another round of talks next month.
We have a framework for a TikTok deal. The two leaders, President Trump and Party Chair Xi, will speak on Friday to complete the deal, but we do have a framework for a deal with TikTok. Getting to this framework was made possible by President Trump and the high regard that President Trump has for Party Chair Xi. So when the leaders have mutual respect, then the delegations have mutual respect. And as Ambassador Greer said, we were in substantial contact with President Trump last night and then again today. We had very good discussions. We preferred to keep the discussions on TikTok. We will be holding trade negotiations in about a month, again, at a different location. But we talked about many things that we might do in the future. I think either the ambassador or myself want to get out ahead of the leaders. We're not going to talk about the commercial terms of the deal. It's between two private parties, but the commercial terms have been agreed upon.
Peter Cardillo, Chief Market Economist at Spartan Capital Securities, is joining us live from New York. Peter, there is now a phone call expected between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping on Friday. What do you expect in that phone conversation?
I think it'll be friendly, and I think there's some deal that's probably in the works. I think, it's obviously predicated with a deal for TikTok. And if they want to get that through, they're going to have to make some concessions to China and vice versa. And so I think the winds right now are favorable, that within the next month or so we can see a trade deal. And I think the conclusion of the TikTok situation is probably at hand. Now, there are other reasons to think that, and that's because, China continues to report some really worrisome economic data. The economy is losing steam. We saw that with the industrial production that was reported. And so the Chinese know they need to make a deal. The Americans know they need to make a deal. And I think it'll happen. It's just, a question of both sides giving up what they probably would like to have and reaching some mutual agreement.
Right. Peter, as far as now TikTok also is concerned, do you believe that it is pretty clear now from what Donald Trump and Marco Rubio has said that it will transfer to American ownership?
Based on what we're hearing from the press, based on what we're hearing from President Trump, based on what the possibilities are, I think that, there's a good possibility. I think that probably could happen very quickly. And based on that, it takes us back to what I said a few moments ago about a trade deal.
Okay. Stay with us. In fact, we are getting some more news now coming in as well. India will be hosting U.S. Chief Negotiator Brendan